show me how.
Baby, show me how.
I know we were expecting some new developments this weekend, but some of them have failed quality control. Make sure you indicate what you'd like redeveloped via the workstation.
Hello guys, Turbocharged 51 over here! I hope you're having a splendid day wherever you are in the world. And guys, it is time for my third favorite Grand Prix on the F1 calendar. We're here for the Canadian Grand Prix. As you guys saw, we started off the episode with a little bit of bad news. We had two aerodynamic parts that failed. The part of the car that we need to upgrade the most is letting us down at this stage, but it's not the end of the world. We are going to try and get those points that we need, those resource points, to buy those upgrades back and have them ready for the next Grand Prix when we head to France. Looking at the performance chart, guys, Ferrari is still the car to catch at the very top. Mercedes and Red Bull are still neck and neck for that second position. It's going to be an interesting fight between the Red Bull cars and the Mercedes cars. Then it's Renault in fourth with that bright yellow line. Myself and Toro Rosso is in fifth, with Haas bringing up the first half of the second half of the field. McLaren is in seventh, with Force India in eighth. Williams is finally past Sauber. They are now in ninth position, and Alfa Romeo Sauber is bringing up the rear end of the field with that maroon line. But guys, we're going to head into qualifying at this stage. We in Toro Rosso are almost there at that stage to catch Renault, and it's a very close battle between ourselves and Renault, and I can't wait to finally surpass them so we can start chasing after Mercedes, Red Bull, and ultimately Ferrari. But guys, let's head to the Montreal qualifying at the Gilles Villeneuve circuit, one of my favorites. Let's head to qualifying.
Welcome again then, and we hope you're ready for another fantastic session as the teams prepare to unleash their cars for qualifying at the Canadian Grand Prix. When it comes to getting lap time out of this circuit, it's traditionally been about maximising top speed. Do you simply remove as much downforce as possible, hang on into the corners and max out down the straights?
The teams will have arrived with all manner of parts designed to capitalise on the long straights. The cars will be that much harder to drive in the corners, but everyone will be in the same boat.
So we are here in the pit box ready for qualifying. As you guys know, at this stage our goal is to get out of Quali 1 and at least get into Quali 2 and start about P12, P13 at this stage, with the car still not having very much good aerodynamics. I still want to be at least P12, well P13 at the minimum. But let's see how qualifying goes here at the Gilles Villeneuve circuit. You guys saw I skipped a bit of the first part of qualifying. So I only went out in the middle of the session. I was trying to get myself out of qualifying with only one run, one run with 2 laps. I didn't want to waste tires because I'm still aiming to get into Quali 3, and you never know, this is one of my strongest circuits because I like the circuit. So we're going to try and get to Quali 3, but at least get into Quali 2, and we need to have a lot of rubber if we are struggling to get out of Quali 2. So coming here to the end of our first flying lap in Quali 1, we clipped the chicane very beautifully for the final quarter. We head up to the line, and our first lap is a 1 minute 7.9. I feel that we could have gone a little bit faster, but I only put in enough fuel for 1 lap. You guys see I'm fast forwarding the time. With 2 minutes 40 seconds to go, I am in 10th position. At this stage I thought I was safe, so I just kept fast forwarding, hoping and praying for the best. And as you guys will see, we actually quite comfortably make it through into Quali 2. Here is the end result. I at the end of everything qualify 11th in front of my teammate Pierre Gasly in 12th. So we are comfortably into qualifying 2, strapping on the old set of Hypersoft tires just to get the feel for the grips of the circuit as we head out for our first run in Quali 2. Also I can't remember if I put in 1 or 2 laps worth of fuel in the car, but I think it was only 1 lap, but if I'm wrong, it's not the end of the world. Guys, I want to remind you just quickly to follow me on all my social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. They're popping up on the screen as we are speaking. You guys will always be notified with a video. You guys are going to have a little bit of an insight into my personal life. Not too much information, but it's always fun to follow someone and to see how things are going in their life. But mainly follow it for the main idea of the channel. You guys will always be notified on my social medias if YouTube fails to notify you, which they do now and then. Coming across the line for our first lap, it's a 1 minute 8.9. I now see that I didn't put in 2 laps of fuel, only 1 lap. And as you guys can see, I am 1.75, well 1.8. You guys see, I just keep getting worse and worse. At the end of the qualifying, I was 15th by far, so I had a lot of catching up to do. Luckily, I was going to strap on a fresh set of Hypersoft tires, going to give it everything I got, guns blazing, and we were going into this final stage of qualifying, hoping and praying to get into Quali 3. Heading on to our lap here at the Gilles Villeneuve circuit. Let's run through a lap. The first corner is a tight 90-degree left-hander into a very tight hairpin. Coming out, open the throttle as quickly as possible, but try to catch the oversteer into the first chicane of the circuit. This circuit is Chicane King. It's a very fast chicane into the left and right-hander, flat out through here, onto the brakes as late as possible, down to second gear, get the car to turn in third gear, short shift up into third gear, and then fourth gear to kill the understeer, onto this first little back straight, opening DRS, running up all the way up into 8th gear, once again going onto the brakes as late as humanly possible. I think I need to try and catch this Force India and try and steal a little bit of slipstream. Heading down here onto the second part, into the most iconic corner of this track, the very tight hairpin, down to first gear just to get the car turned into short shift up into second gear, plant the power as you get out of the hairpin, going down the main, the main back straight, not the main straight just yet, bump the car down to overtake mode to get the best top end speed. I slipstream the Force India, get a brilliant run into the final chicane. Next to the Wall of Champions, we nearly skid the Wall of Champions, and we're heading up to the line, and we are going to be in P. You gotta be kidding me. Are you kidding me? Okay, we are starting P15. My teammate Pierre Gasly, or on some other magical reason, made it into Quali 3. And wow, look at Nico Hulkenberg in the Renault in 3rd position. Wow, Nico, not bad.
Well done. That was a good qualifying performance.
I highly disagree with that, Emma, but it's fine. Guys, you guys know I'm not a qualifier, I am a racer. So let's head to this very wet Canadian Grand Prix.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to a variant of this track back in 1978. It was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. It's a tricky circuit to tackle in wet conditions, with top speed still of critical importance down the long back straight. There are 2.7 miles and 14 corners overall on a circuit that in the dry can see average lap speeds of around 130 miles per hour. We'll be lucky to get anywhere near that today. We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and Kimi Räikkönen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Vettel, Max Verstappen and Hulkenberg, Ocon, Gasly, Perez and Kevin Magnussen. Ricciardo, they've taken a grid penalty. Leclerc, Romain Grosjean, O'Connor, Stroll, Sainz, Stoffel Van Dorn and Marcus Ericsson. Sirotkin and Fernando Alonso starts from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Keep your eyes open on the run to turn 1 and keep it clean. We want to come out in one piece. Good luck.
What? We are starting on slick tires for a wet Grand Prix. It's literally in between the part of shifting over into intermediate conditions, and we are stuck on the Hypersoft tire. Well guys, I'm going to put my car on the Hypersoft tire because this strategy means absolutely nothing at this stage because the Grand Prix is going to get wet, as you guys see on the weather forecast. But there's no help in complaining. Let's go slip and slide, and guys, enjoy the formation lap. You guys know the drill. Plug it into the hi-fi and dance with me. Enjoy the formation lap.
Out of time to make you mine. Baby, show me how. Baby, show me how. talk to me. Give me the impression that I won't scratch your surface.
Seem like the best tire for now.
I could walk for days, searching for your praise. Is it even there to find? Is there a chance for me to learn your memories? Will I slowly lose my mind? Lost in your maze, stuck in your gaze. How can I get out? I'm out of time to make you mine. Baby, show me how. Baby, show me how. Baby, show me how. Baby, show me how.
Are you ready for the Canadian Grand Prix? Because I am. We are heading to 5 red lights, and it is go, go, go! Mercedes and Ferrari on the front row, the two Finns in Valtteri Bottas and Kimi Räikkönen. Kimi Räikkönen gets a brilliant start over the line, going around the outside of Valtteri Bottas. Bottas gets the better line into the second corner, but Kimi is on the inside. Who's going to have the speed heading into that first very quick chicane? Kimi is up the inside. Come on, Kimi! Come on, come on, come on, come on! Keep the position. Actually, I should not be rooting for Kimi because Kimi is the guy I'm fighting in the championship at this stage. Bottas is alongside. They're still alongside each other in this wet weather, but Valtteri Bottas gets the jump on Kimi, and at this stage it's the Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas, the Ferrari of Kimi Räikkönen, and the Red Bull, I think, of Daniel Ricciardo bringing up the top 3. It's a Ferrari, Mercedes and Red Bull battle at the front, so this is going to be a very interesting Grand Prix. The rain is throwing a complete spanner in the works here, guys. Just a quick reminder, after the start I've got some more bad news, unfortunately for you guys. Don't worry, you're going to see the whole race, but I need to tell you guys something about the following episodes of this championship series. We jump onto the POV of the Red Bull, and guys, I think I was wrong. I think this is Max Verstappen. Yep, I watched the helmet. That is Max Verstappen, not Daniel Ricciardo. Excuse me for making that mistake. Then it's Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel bringing up the top 5. And in 6th place, I can't remember actually who was in 6th place. Guys, sorry, my life has been a bit crazy recently, and I'm doing the audio for this video so much later than actually of the race. So it's a few stuff I am going to get wrong in this video. We jump onto the start, back onto the start of Lance Stroll. You guys can see me, I'm there on the inside of Lance Stroll. He gets a brilliant start off of the line on his ultra soft tires. I was just, oh, that's very close to contact. Look at that dive bomb from the Williams. Oh, contact. That is a lot of contact there from the Williams driver. There's even more contact between me and the Force India. Oh boy, that was a sandwich I'm so glad that I got out of. We're heading here onto the back of my teammate and the other Force India of Esteban Ocon. They are very slow. We give our teammate a little bit of a squeeze there on the outside. That was a bit rude, but that was begun by Esteban Ocon, not myself. I even go for a dive up the inside of Esteban Ocon. Come on, keep the car, don't oversteer. Guys, I can't explain to you guys how slippery it was on the track. These slick tires just didn't want to heat up. You guys can see on my steering wheel how low temperature the tires are, and every time you would put your foot down, the car would just oversteer for days. I think that this was not Formula 1. I think for this start of the race it was Formula Drift. But in any case, we are still going after the Force India of Esteban Ocon. I go for a very late dive up the inside at the beautiful hairpin, and we are alongside Esteban Ocon, but we've got the drive off of the hairpin, and we are up into P7. I can now see that there is a Renault in 6th position. So this fight is really on. You guys know I am fighting for the championship with Kimi Räikkönen, so I have to have a good race.
Then we'll see a transition into heavy rain conditions. Dry seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Just quickly let you guys listening there to the weather report. So things at this stage are not looking very good considering the weather, because it was getting wetter, but it was still not time for the intermediate tires. You guys can see every corner I get out of, I have a kick of oversteer. Here's another weather report.
We're on track in about 10 minutes. Dry seem like the best tyre for now.
You guys have no idea how much I bothered Jeff with this weather report. I wanted to know when was the crossover going to be from slick tires onto intermediate tires, and at this stage it was just not time for that yet. I go for a beautiful move up the outside and then the inside of Nico Hulkenberg for 6th position, and now we are chasing after the Ferraris, the Mercedes, and the one remaining Red Bull. And guys, one thing that I have to be honest about is my car has got exceptional pace in the wet weather. I'm not even gonna go twice about that. My car has got brilliant pace in the wet weather. So I was actually waiting for the intermediate stage. You guys can see here, Vettel, Hamilton, and Max Verstappen are holding each other up in the chicane. Guys, wait just a minute before we continue with anything else. Lewis is going for a move up the inside of Max Verstappen. Vettel tries to have a look, but he forgets about me coming from behind. I'm up the inside of Sebastian Vettel. Come on, Toro, so have the drive off of the corner. Yes, we are past Lewis. Can we do anything about Max Verstappen? We go here up the inside of Max Verstappen. Yes, onto the brakes. Come on, stop the car. Oh, I give Max Verstappen a little bit of a rude squeeze there, but we are up into P3. That is a triple overtake. Let's go, baby. Oh, please don't lose control of the car. Oh, it was so slippery, it's not even funny. And now I'm under pressure from Lewis Hamilton because the only thing this car is doing is spinning its tires away. I had no grip. Lewis, don't do this to me. I just made an amazing move. He's on the outside, get the car stopped, clip the curb on the inside. I give Lewis a squeeze, but he even taps me on my side pod. Oh, I'm already out of breath. Guys, here's a replay of the entire sequence. I'm going to talk a bit slower. I see you guys in the comments that say I need to talk a bit slower, so I'm going to try and do that. We jump into the POV of Sebastian Vettel. Lewis Hamilton goes on the outside of Max Verstappen into the inside for the very next corner, the first corner of the track. Lewis is up the inside. Vettel has a sneak peek, but he forgets about me coming from behind. I have the most exceptional drive out of the corner, and I jump not just Vettel, but Lewis as well. And now I'm as late as possible onto the brakes, and I pass Max Verstappen, and that even opens up the door for Lewis because we squeezed Max, and now Lewis is up into P4. We are up into P3. Let's have another look at this from my POV. Vettel just didn't stand a chance there. He left the door wide open. That gave me the best drive. Look at my drive out of the corner, guys. Just so good. My acceleration is so much better than the Mercedes there, who spun his tires. And then as late as possible onto the brakes, and I give Max the squeeze. Luckily not off the circuit, just onto the next curb, and I nearly lose control of my own car. Heading here onto the end of lap 6, guys. This is me battling away and finally coming into the pits. Wait, is this? No, guys, this is not me. This is my teammate Pierre Gasly further back of the grid, and they finally thought it was time to go onto the intermediate stage, the end of lap 6, the start of lap 7, and now you guys realize that we in the front have already passed the finish line, and we are going to have the most horrific lap on our slick tires. So these guys are going for one massive undercut. Let's head here onto the end of lap 7, and you guys can see I am still defending from Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel and also Max Verstappen. I said and. Very smart turbo. But guys, there was nothing I could do to try and catch Kimi Raikkonen because Lewis he just didn't let me go. You guys can see the leader of the Grand Prix, Valtteri Bottas, as well as his fellow Finn, Kimi Raikkonen, is coming into the pit lane. They strap on their intermediate tires, and hopefully us coming from behind in third position don't get held up in the pits. Well, especially Lewis and Sebastian because their teammates already pitted. You guys can see here, the pit lane is going to be absolute chaos with everybody coming into the pits except those first two cars of Fernando Alonso and my teammate Pierre Gasly. I am off of my slicks onto my intermediate tires, and I actually make a little bit of time on Lewis, Sebastian and Max because they get held up with all the other cars diving into the pit lane. So, at this stage of the Grand Prix, stuff was looking very good for me. We jump back onto my POV. Roman Grosjean, for some other stupid reason, once again, just like in China, stays out on the slicks, and he just gets completely passed. Luckily, this time he doesn't spin out and ruin the race for a few people. But now you guys see we jump back onto the POV of Lewis Hamilton to see where he releases. Max Verstappen has jumped Lewis Hamilton. Well done, Maxi. Then it's Lewis, and then Vettel got the worst part of that. And now in P1, at the end of lap 8, guys, let's quickly run through the top 10. This is Valtteri Bottas leading the Canadian Grand Prix from his fellow Finn, the flying Finn himself, Kimi Raikkonen, the man I am battling in the championship at this stage. From here, it's myself battling away, well, passing actually the Force India. I think that was Esteban Ocon, but I am currently in third position. We are the top 3 at this stage, and as you guys see, I've got a massive gap to myself. Whoa, guys, what's going on here? What's going on? Why is everybody diving into the pits? They are strapping on their heavyweight tires. Guys, Now I remember what happened. The rain was so bad, within the span of about 2-3 laps, we went from dry to intermediate to wet weather conditions, and myself, Kimi Räikkönen and Valtteri Bottas just passed, the pit lane. Wonderful. Guys, here's a replay of just me passing that pink Force India. Was it Ocon or was it Perez? I didn't watch that when we jumped onto my POV. Oh, it is Sergio Perez himself. He is on the slick tires. I was on the Inters. There was just not even a grip comparison here. I had just way more grip than he had. We head into the corner, and guys, this is the part where they all went in to strap on heavyweight tires. So Perez actually was smart to start on the slick because he jumped a lot of cars. But now, myself, Kimi Räikkönen and Valtteri Bottas were so badly on the back foot. Guys, look how wet the track is. That's why I put in this part of the video. Look how wet the track is. Look, even on the intermediates, I struggled to get any grip. And yeah, it was atrocious weather. It felt like a hurricane hit the circuit. Okay, not really a hurricane, but the amount of rain that forms from a hurricane, it just don't take into account the wind and everything flying around going crazy. Just take in the amount of rain that hits within a hurricane. Listen to the weather report, guys. Yeah.
There's heavy rain left, after which we should see light rain conditions. Full wets seem to be the fastest tyre for now. The gap behind us is 20.3 seconds.
So not a hard choice to make, guys. I was going to strap on the heavyweight tires, and as you guys see on the mini-map, Kimi Räikkönen and Valtteri Bottas are so far ahead, it's not even funny. So this was basically my race, well, my podium to lose. I didn't think that I was going to catch these two guys heading into the pit lane at this stage, at any stage of this Grand Prix. It was going to be a battle of the Finns for this race victory. Here comes myself, the little South African in his Toro Rosso Honda, coming into the pit lane, hoping and praying that Hamilton, Vettel and Max Verstappen was once again held up in the pit lane the previous lap. And yeah, at this stage my heart was pumping, I was stressing. I strapped on my heavyweight tires. By the way, the wet tires look brilliant on this Toro Rosso. We jump here onto the POV of Valtteri Bottas. I think we're running through the top 10 again. I'm not sure what part of the video this is, but guys, look even the racing line, how wet it is. There's not even a complete clear racing line. But at this stage, Valtteri Bottas is leading the way from Kimi Räikkönen. Myself still in third position, thank goodness. I am still in third with a massive gap advantage to fourth position. I nearly hit the wall of champions. That was quite terrifying, to say the least. But now, after I run through the top 10, I have to speak to you guys. So guys, keep a very careful eye on the cars, because I'm not going to commentate on the racing. I'm going to tell you guys something else. Max Verstappen is in fourth position with Marcus Ericsson. Now Charles Leclerc in fifth, Nico Hülkenberg in 6th, Lance Stroll in 7th. In 8th position, it is the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. 9th is the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel. And then in 10th place is the second Red Bull of Daniel Ricciardo. So it's a really shuffled up top 10, with some of the guys taking a chance on the slick tires and not going on to intermediates at the intermediate stage. Now guys, this is Lewis Hamilton making his way through all the slower cars. And now I'm going to talk about something else quickly. So guys, unfortunately, like you guys know, after I posted Monaco, I told you guys that I didn't have any Canadian Grand Prix footage because the footage got corrupted one morning when I switched on my PlayStation. Now unfortunately, I've got bad news for the following Grand Prix after the one you guys are currently watching, the French Grand Prix, and after that as well, the Austrian Grand Prix. As you guys don't know this, but I'm going to tell you now. I record about 2-3 races, then I edit them just directly after each other. And after I did Monaco, I decided to do Canada. Luckily I did. And then I deleted the files that were not edited together, and I started recording for France and Austria. Now usually I do 3 Grand Prix. After I did Austria, it was I just felt I had an editing mood. I switched on my PlayStation one morning, and literally all my replay files, I don't know why, but only of F1 2018 was corrupted. And nothing I could do was going to help me to salvage them. So unfortunately guys, just like Spain, you guys are not going to have a French and Austrian Grand Prix. The next episode that you guys will see is going to be the British Grand Prix, round number 10. And at the Silverstone Grand Prix, also somewhere through the race, I will explain to you guys what happened in the French Grand Prix and in the Austrian Grand Prix, because they were, unlike Spain, which was quite a boring race, Yeah, actually, France and Austria were extremely fun Grand Prix. Also, both were wet Grand Prix. So I'm really sad that I can't give you guys that footage. You guys can see now me and Max Verstappen battling away a hammer and tong for third position, which was quite fun at this stage. I feel really bad for not giving you guys this, but also while I'm talking about not giving you guys 2 races, I took in my PlayStation, and actually there was a problem with one of my hardware components of the PlayStation. Not important which part it was. I replaced the part, so you guys will definitely be getting the rest of the season from Silverstone onwards. So you guys are going to have round 1, 2, 3, 4, known round number 5, 6, 7, and no round number 8 and 9, and then you guys are going to have round 10 all the way to 21 when we finish off the season in Abu Dhabi before F1 2019 releases. You guys I'm going to try and get all the videos to you guys of my final season on F1 2018. This season you guys are currently watching before F1 2019 hits, but if I don't do that, I'm going to make sure that all the videos are done. But on the day, the 28th of June, you guys will be getting footage of F1 2019, and I will just, if I haven't posted all the races of this final season, they will be posted as with the footage of F1 2019. But guys, away from the bad news, let's jump back into this Canadian Grand Prix and continue with the good news. I am battling away hammer and tong, like I said, with Max Verstappen. It was Scuderia Toro Rosso versus Red Bull, and at this stage, remember guys, I am the baby sister team to Red Bull. And at this stage of the career, my car is starting to be a better car than the Red Bull car. So, and I was in a much bigger championship fight than Max. So I was not going to give up this position at all. Listen to the weather report.
Probably have similar pace at the moment.
As you guys heard there, it was almost time to jump back onto intermediate tires, which you guys can see me doing at this very moment. At this stage, Kimi Raikkonen and Valtteri Bottas were running away with this thing. Because I was battling away with Max, there was nothing I could do to try and catch Kimi and Valtteri. I strapped on my set of intermediate tires to go to the end of the Grand Prix. You guys can see it's just pit stops everywhere you go with this Grand Prix because the rain, it was dry, it started off light, suddenly went to heavy rain. We went, within the span of 3 laps, we went from slick tires to heavy wet tires. And now we're back onto the intermediate stage. And as you guys see here, I come out right behind the second Red Bull of Daniel Ricciardo, and I make a very easy overtake with having the superior grippy tires. Not even something hard to do. And guys, here's the funny part. I got so used to the wet weather conditions. When I strapped on the intermediate tires, it felt like I had slicks on. It was amazing. But you guys can see here, Sebastian Vettel is making a pit stop. He was still fighting away with Lewis Hamilton, unable to pass Lewis. And at this stage, I think Vettel was going for the undercut of his life. The very next lap, on lap 25, Kimi Raikkonen is coming into the pit lane to try and do the very same to the leading Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas. So Ferrari had a very smart undercut strategy in mind, and let's see if it pays off for Ferrari. You guys can see the Ferrari mechanics look fantastic in those suits. On the very same lap, Max Verstappen comes into the pit lane. I am fighting away with him, so let's see if I actually did the right thing to go onto the intermediate tires and see if I can undercut Max. You guys can see there's Lewis fighting away with Sebastian. Here I am already on the home straight, and I don't think Max Verstappen has got an answer for me at this stage, and the undercut worked like a dream, and I've once again got a gap to Max Verstappen, still fighting for third position on the final position on the podium. You guys can see Lewis Hamilton comes out, and just like me with Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel in the superior Ferrari has jumped Lewis Hamilton, and Vettel finally is past Lewis. At the end of lap 26, you guys can see it's Valtteri Bottas is coming into the pit lane. Now let's see if there's an exchange for the lead of the Grand Prix, because Valtteri Bottas and Kimi Raikkonen, the two Finns, are having a battle for the ages. Valtteri exits the pit lane. Where is Kimi Raikkonen? Come on, we stay on the POV of Valtteri Bottas to get a little bit of a feeling going there. And Valtteri Bottas is going to hit the pit limiter button now, and he's up to speed. And guys, there's the red Ferrari in front. Kimi Raikkonen is your new leader of the Canadian Grand Prix here at the Gilles Villeneuve circuit. It's a Ferrari I don't know where Vettel is. I think it's a Ferrari 1.6 to be quite honest, or a Ferrari 1.5, I'm not sure. But you guys see, it didn't take long for Max Verstappen to catch up back onto the back of me. And at this stage we were fighting once again. Oh, that was so nearly contact. Was that contact? I don't think it was. But we head here onto lap 30, guys, and we are still fighting away. My tires were starting to die off because I was under so much pressure from Max that every corner I almost got oversteer because I was too friendly with the throttle. We've got less than 5, no, we've got just over 5 laps to go, and it's a fight between me and Max. I'm up the inside of the hip, but I nearly touched Max Verstappen. I keep my tight line going onto the wet part of the circuit, and you guys, that is an example of how slippery it is. But to be quite honest, I can't call it a little Honda motor anymore because my motor is officially stronger than the Renault motor in the back of the Red Bull. So stuff was looking very juicy for us in the straight. Oh! Guys, like I said, Formula Drift, not Formula 1, Formula Drift, and I nearly lost the back end of my Toro Rosso there. I just gave myself a heart attack. How does that work? How? But you guys can see Max Verstappen is still fighting away, and guys, look behind. Even the Renault of Nico Hülkenberg caught up, and guys, I don't know when it happened, but Hamilton overtook Vettel at some stage of the Grand Prix. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I unfortunately didn't get any footage of it. We are on to the final lap of the Canadian Grand Prix. For the final podium position, it is myself, Turbocharged 51, versus Max Verstappen, versus Nico Hülkenberg, versus Lewis Hamilton. Who is going to prevail for the final podium spot? At this stage, Kimi Raikkonen and Valtteri Bottas are so far ahead. Here we jump onto the POV of Kimi Raikkonen, and Kimi Raikkonen, the flying Finn himself, is going to win the Canadian Grand Prix, and he has just jumped me so much in the championship. I'm gonna have a fight on my hand like never before. The second Finn of Valtteri Bottas comes home in second place, and we jump back to my battle. Come on, little Toro Rosso. Oh boy, oh boy. Max Verstappen is giving me the drive of my life, and even Lewis Hamilton is sizing up a move on the Renault of Nico Hülkenberg. Come on, stay away from me, Max Verstappen. Oh boy. Okay, let's see if Nico can line up a move actually on Max Verstappen. I don't think he can. That Renault is just, that Red Bull is just too far ahead, guys. But it is official. I'm going to come home in P3, and I made a little bit of a mistake coming over the line. So I'm just gonna fade away here, and you guys can see what happened for yourself. I was lucky to finish P3.
Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
Great effort there from Ferrari to take the victory today. So, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
So, here they come now, out onto the podium.
I swear now I can't take it. Knowing somebody's got my baby. And when you ain't around, baby, I can't think. I should've put it down, should've got that ring. Cause I can still feel it in the air. See a pretty face from my fingers to her hair. My love, my life, my shawty, my wife. She left me, I'm tight. Cause I knew it just for me. I'm speaking about
Now let's take a look at the driver's standings. It's a good result for Kimi Raikkonen, who extends his advantage at the top of the championship. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
I have to give it to O'Connor. They fought so hard and had incredible pace at times, so I don't think anyone else did a better job today.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Meanwhile, Renault move up the table with another strong performance this weekend. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Great work out there today. How do you think it went? You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy? Everything went your way today. It looked like you had a really good strategy for the race. We all underestimated you, didn't we? Things were close between you and your rival, but it looks like you're coming up top, doesn't it?
Great! Well, that's everything.
What a Canadian Grand Prix, guys. We take over the third place spoils, but as you guys saw in the championship, my fight with Kimi Räikkönen, and guys, it's gonna be so hard to catch Kimi if he keeps on going on a roll like this. But we're not going to get negative. We are going to keep hunting him down, and mark my words, it'll be a fight till the very last race in Abu Dhabi. I am not giving up. Ferrari, me and Toro Rosso, I'm coming for you.
That's a great result. You did really well. I don't think we can have any complaints with that performance.
From P15 on the grid, I think it was well deserved. I truly think so. But guys, that has been this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, hit the subscribe, don't forget to ding the bell, and I'll see you all for the next video. Cheers!